Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder, and this time I have an AITA story directly from Reddit for you. Am I the astronaut for not wanting my husband to walk his sister down the aisle? My husband, Mike, 37, is the eldest in his family. He's pretty close with his sister, Beth, 28, and they spend almost all week together. Beth had issues with her father growing up. She went no contact with him after he took her first car and damaged it. She only remained in contact with Mike since everybody else judged her for going no contact. She's getting married to her fiancé of 3 years. From what I understand, she and her dad are slowly getting reconciled, but she made it clear she wants him to take no part in the wedding. She asked Mike if he would walk her down the aisle, and he agreed. I have to say that I was taken aback, and it felt a bit odd for me because her dad is alive. They're on speaking terms again. He's going to be there at the wedding, so the logical thing to do is have him walk her down the aisle. The role isn't for her older brother, but her father. Not to mention how father-in-law will feel about it. I brought this up with Beth, and she had an attitude and implied that I was just saying this and objecting because how I feel about the situation, not how our tradition should be practiced. We got into an argument, and I went home. Mike thinks I'm being unreasonable and possibly causing him to miss something so sentimental, and that if anything, he feels honored to be asked to do this for her, and said that I should stop worrying about what others might say. Now we're having this conflict, 3 of us, and cannot seem to reach a solution. So the question is, am I the astronaut for not wanting my husband to walk his sister down the aisle? Yes! Yes, you are the astronaut for that. Why do you care? What problem do you actually have with it? He's just walking her down the aisle. He'd still be able to sit with you. What dog do you have in this fight? I don't understand why you would have a problem with this at all. And by the way, tons of brides have someone other than their father walk them down the aisle. Why do you care? And why are you sticking your nose in it? It has absolutely nothing to do with you. The thing you got to be careful with, OP, here is that, number one, speaking up about your opinion was dumb. You've got no place to have an opinion in this instance, so why'd you do that? You put yourself in a bad position and actually started this drama that didn't need to exist in the first place. And number 2, you just look petty AF. You know the situation. You know that your husband is really the only person from that family that she has a good relationship with. It's symbolic. It's sentimental. What problem do you actually have with it? I'm going to look at comments because this doesn't make sense to me at all. Here's one of the comments. You're the astronaut. There was no conflict except for your unwanted opinion. Beth wants Mike to walk her down the aisle. Mike wants to walk Beth down the aisle. Mike's wife thinks he shouldn't, sticks her nose into his business, insists upon it, objects to it, creates a conflict because of her own opinions about years-long issues she hasn't been around for, and then posts. OP, during your entire typing and proofing of this post, did you not see that you've butted into someone else's affairs? Was there no glimmer of Beth should be able to choose whomever she wants, or Mike and Beth know this situation best? I'm more concerned that this isn't the first time you've done this. Argued a point rather than listen to the other side. And if I were you, I'd apologize and offer your non-judgmental support. If I were Mike, I'd be second-guessing my marriage. Boom. This says everything that we need to say here. She's got no place to have an opinion, period. And you know what? I say that, but everybody has an opinion about almost everything, but we all have the ability to keep it to ourselves. This is one of those things where you can think whatever you want to think, but you need to be careful what you say. And there's this thing between here and here called a filter that needs to be used sometimes. OP definitely belongs on the ascon scale. Let's take a look at the scale just as a reminder. And I can do that with the push of a button now because we fancy. ascon 1 is there's no way you should have done that. You're a terrible human being. ascon 2 is you definitely shouldn't have done that, but it doesn't make you a terrible person. ascon 3 is you probably should have approached that differently. And ascon 4 is you probably could have approached that differently. Maybe you're an asshole, maybe you're not. And I've gone ascon 2 with OP here. I didn't put her in the terrible human category because we're just trying to save that for those really truly terrible people. And although this is screwed up and OP has no business sticking her nose into any of this, I don't think it quite yet qualifies for that you're a terrible human level. If she opens her mouth a couple more times, she'd get there pretty easy. But let me know what you guys think. You may see something that I totally missed here.